Hello everyone, welcome to another update. There has been a cornucopia of changes that has taken place in the past 2 weeks since my last video. So this video I will go over with them and future plans for the scale 1 to 100 airport. To start off, I moved my southwest terminal over here. It used to be where that Delta terminal is now. I moved it over because I noticed on satellite images that the southwest terminals tend to be in a more isolated spot than the other airlines. So to keep this airport as realistic as possible, I put the southwest terminal over here in the back corner. To start off, we have this 737-800 aircraft. This plane is being towed to the runway, and this plane is going to be taken off to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Should only be about an hour and 5-minute flight. Making our way to gate D3, we have a 737 MAX 8 aircraft. This plane's being catered to, and this plane is about to be ready for pushback, and we'll be heading down to Tucson, Arizona. And right over here, I also got a few 1 to 100 buildings to add to the realism of this town. It's turned into more of a city than a country town, which I originally intended for. But I bought these buildings from overseas. They look very realistic. They're easy to build. This is my latest. Excuse me, guys. This is my latest one. There's 2 parking garages. I love the way it turned out. And then 2 weeks ago, I got this blue one. I also love the way it turned out. I also have the deciduous trees around them to be emblematic of how maybe like a Chicago city would look. They usually have these deciduous trees surrounded by high buildings. This is an apartment building, scale 1 to 100, that I got about 3 weeks ago. And then this big office building is actually scale 1 to 87, but it's not that much different than the rest of the building, so I'm gonna roll with it. I like it. I think it's has a neat look to it. And so what I'm working on right now is I have 1 airport and I'm working on 3 ecosystems. So this is the city environment filled with a little bit of farmland, city, deciduous trees, deer, animal life with the highway. And then over here I have the more coniferous trees, like trees that you would find in Alaska or way up northern Minnesota. These are the coniferous trees. They're usually found in colder environments. They're very beautiful. So that is the Chicago, the Chicago-like environment for the airport, and then this is the more of the Canadian / wilderness side of the airport. Has a lot of coniferous trees, as I mentioned. We even have a hill right here, and we have some more coniferous trees. This looks like more of an airport that you would probably find in Oregon or even Seattle. I need to work on the mountain a little bit, but I love how it's coming out so far. So that's my second ecosystem. This is my third ecosystem, is a tropical airport. So over the past couple weeks, I've been adding realism to my tropical airport. I have palm trees on the side. I have bushes. I also have some sand on the tarmac. And as you can see, I added more bushes and palm trees and more sand. And these are some typical airlines that you would see in more tropical areas. Southwest tends to be a hot spot for flying to vacation destinations. Viva is a foreign airline that's found in Central America. which is also flies around in warm climates. And then Allegiant, a lot of Allegiant planes that I look at are located in warmer climates. So I added this as part of this airline is part of the tropical airport. And as I move on, I'll show you more detail about the palm trees that I set up. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. And right here, I consider these two airports one tropical airport, one with 2 big gates and then 3 with small express jets. For instance, I have this American Eagle CRJ 200, which is about to be loaded up and flying to Miami. Then I have this Alaska Q-400, which is going to be loaded on with passengers whom I've yet to stand up, but I will. And this Q-400 is going to go up to Seattle. This Continental Express is also being loaded up with a few passengers. This plane is ready for pushback in about 15 minutes. This plane will head to Myrtle Beach and then make its way back to Chicago O'Hare. And then another big update that I'm excited to share with you guys is that I have extended the beach. Or I'm sorry, I did not. I extended the ocean. So it used to be only 1, 2, 3, but I've added this shoreline over the past 2 weeks. So it looks, it doesn't look great up close. It has some work to do, but from afar, it does look like ocean waves, and I'm very ecstatic about that. But it does have some work to do. And then right here, this is the full beach. I have some shrubs. I have some buildings that you probably find on beaches, like a shed, a restaurant building, another small town building right there. And I spray painted the road. I painted the line on. It's pretty straight, so I'm very happy with that. And with the little room I have, I also made another, this is an off ramp that goes into our parking lot right here, where people who are about to fly out get off, and then they get onto the platform over there into that terminal. And if they're flying out of that one of the larger gates over there, they have one of the buses pick them up and drive them past the tarmac so they can get onto that jetway. I'm very happy with, like I said, I'm very happy with the way it turned out. This is real sand that I used, real model sand that I got from Hobby Lobby. Very happy with the way it looks. And then in my next video, I will have a desert airport, which will be right where that mountain is. I'm getting rid of that mountain and I'm going to be putting a desert scene. So I kind of have different ecosystems, and I really like it because it adds a variety to the airport. Even it's kind of one airport and 3 different ecosystems. I came up with that idea last week when I couldn't decide whether I wanted an airport in the mountains, in the city, or the tropics. So I'm like, why not get the best of all worlds? So I decided to do a little bit of everything. Right here we have an Air Canada 737 MAX 8 aircraft. This plane is heading to Toronto, Canada. Another big update is the ocean. I extended the ocean. I added a shoreline to it. It only used to be 1, 2, 3 pieces of wood, but I extended it with another piece of wood and a shoreline. It looks like ocean waves. I'm very pleased with it. I'm going to get some scale 1 to 100 boats to make it look more authentic, and even some buoys. I created a beach road using spray paint and a straight edge to make the white line. I'm It looks beautiful. It looks neat. I also used model sand right here. Yeah, real model sand from Hobby Lobby. Brushed some onto the street to make it more realistic and less uniform. I got some buildings that kind of give me off beach vibes, so they blend very nicely into the scenery. Got a convertible. Got another convertible. And I even also added an off-ramp to the airport so they can get access from the town to the airport. I'm not quite finished putting on the guardrails yet. But these cars over here, they just pull up, take the exit, and then they park right here. And then they walk up to the terminal right here. And if they have a plane, or if they need to get across the tarmac, one of the buses will pick them up so they can get them to the proper gate. I was very happy how this turned out. It looks between the palm trees, the shrubs, and the model sand, I couldn't be more pleased with it. All right. Then over here we got more of another foresty ecosystem with some ponds. Something that you probably found anywhere in a forest, any forest. I love the way it turned out. I love the more trees I get, the more realistic it looks and the more natural it looks. As for this side, I also got a bountiful amount of trees, looking more realistic. Yeah, the more I add. And then I got this Qantas A380 at the end of the runway about to take off, and this plane will be heading to Sydney, Australia for a 14-hour and 45-minute flight. So most likely they're going to be serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner on this plane. I heard first class on an A380 is very comfortable. I've never experienced it. If you have, please let me know in the comments what it's like, so we could all get a little taste of it. Yeah, one of the largest passenger planes in the world. Interestingly though, they're not as selling as well as you might think, even though they're very large. Because a lot of people are not flying that far, so I think airlines are not requesting as many A380s because they're not filling up the planes. They're massive, but there's always a lot of empty seats. And right over here, this is part of the Oregon/Canadian Foresty Airport. This United 777-300, this plane's being catered to and will be making its way across the U.S. to San Francisco. No, I'm sorry. No, this plane is actually taking off and will be heading out to Tokyo, Japan. Another very long flight. And then behind that I have a 787-9 in the relatively new United livery. This plane's being catered to and it will be making its way to London Heathrow. Then right over there I have a 737-800 aircraft in the corner, United in its new livery. This plane is just came in from Denver, and we'll be heading back out to Salt Lake City within the hour. Then here's my new terminal. I got it's a Delta terminal. I have enough airplanes to have a Delta fleet. I have the A220-100, the A321neo, and the A321. I think the Delta the Delta terminal looks very neat there against the backdrop of the trees. And here we have an American 737-800 that just came in from Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. And then over here, as I began the video, this is all going to be changed to another ecosystem. I'm going to make this a desert, as I mentioned a little bit ago. I'm going to be getting rid of this and be putting sand, pueblos, cacti. I'm going to make it as seem like a desert. And I'm also going to be getting rid of these trees and this grass mat, and we'll be putting sand and more cacti to surround this part of the airport. And right over here, I have a 737-900 in the Alaska 2016 livery. This plane has come in and it's waiting for its gate to open. They're going to be sitting on the tarmac for quite a bit since they have to wait for these two Spirit Airlines planes to take off to gain access to the gate. This Alaska 737 just came in from San Francisco, California. And then right over here I have the American gate. The American gate is semi-part of the Oregon. Yeah, it's a little weird. It's like being in a matrix. But yeah, so the American gate is part of the Oregon, foresty ecosystem, and it's also part of the Chicago Chicago environment, scenery. So the Midwest ecosystem. Yeah, so this American Airlines A321-200, this plane is being catered to. I broke a landing gear quite a few months ago, so after this I will probably be putting this plane to rest, as in I'll probably put it inside and just keep it on a stand and not touch it anymore so the landing gear doesn't collapse again. Which is a shame because this is one of my favorite planes in that beautiful livery. That plane just came in from Baltimore, Maryland, and it's probably one of its last flights before I bring it in the house for forever. And right next to that we have a 737 MAX 8 aircraft. This plane's being loaded on with passengers. They're doing boarding announcements, loading on with cargo, being catered to. And this plane will be pushing back shortly for a long flight out to Albuquerque. Long flight down to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Most likely when it's in Albuquerque, I'll be putting it over there in the desert scenery. The soon-to-be desert scenery. Right now it's a little bit of a mountainous forest scenery. And then right beside that I have an A321-231. This plane is also being catered to and will be making a flight all the way up to Boston Logan International Airport in Massachusetts. I love this plane. I love the A321. I just wish that there were a little more detail on the wings compared to the other A321. As you can notice the discoloration of the wings and the lines on this aircraft, but there are no lines or color differences on this aircraft. But then again, I did pay less for it, so I kind of expected. I kind of knew what I was paying for. Right here we have an Embraer 175. This plane's about to be the tug truck's about to let go, and this plane will be making its way to the runway and will be making a short flight up to Detroit, Michigan. I love the Embraers. They're very smooth to rides. They're not too small where you feel cramped. It's pretty roomy in my opinion. I've always had a good experience when I fly on Embraers, 175s. And then over here, I have an A321 Neo in the Spirit Airlines livery. This plane is waiting to get clearance to take off to Nashville, Tennessee. And then right in front of it, I have an A320 Neo, also in the Spirit Airlines livery. This plane is about to make its way across country to Orange County, California. Yeah, I love the detail and intricacies of the model, of how well the tires are also very the tires are big enough where it's also where the engines aren't on the ground or too low to the ground. For instance, I know Boeing usually has engines low to the ground, but the tire of this 737-900 is too thin. The tire should be a little higher than that, a little more thick and wide. Alright guys, and this is back to my building. So next week, or within 2 weeks, depending on how fast I get this done, I will have a desert over here, all cacti and plateaus. And I will also have, on my way is a new building, scale 1 to 100 building, so I can add to this skyline, which I'm excited for. Excuse me guys. Which I'm excited for because it's going to add more realism to the scenery, and the buildings are pretty cheap. So I just have to wait a little bit since they're coming from China. In conjunction with that, I am also getting a 737-700 from the airplane shop. It's on its way from Miami, Florida. Unfortunately, the seller of the aircraft said it did have one right gear missing. I said it's not a problem as long as they give me a discount. The airplane shop was nice enough to give me a discount. Instead of the plane costing $219, it cost $129. So I was pleased. I was very happy that they were able to reason with me. So I'm looking forward to that. A lot of other great changes will be coming next week too, as I add more detail to the already the scenery around the airport. All right, guys, have an awesome day. Thank you for listening. Please hit that share and subscribe button, and have a happy March. Thanks everyone for watching another ALK Airport update. I will have a video coming out next week or in a couple weeks, depending when I'm able to have the budget to create a desert out of this. I love doing this for you guys, as I mention every video. It's because I mean it. I love that there are people out there like me that have a passion for this type of stuff. Please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button, and have a happy February. Thanks everyone.